art and music activities, opportunities for hands-on pottery, Clay Parker, Jody James, 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. both days, Saturday, Sunday, October 25th and 26th. The Yellowleaf Arts Festival at Parker Park, St. Francisville. More info, artsforallwestfeliciana.com.
The views and opinions expressed during this show are those of the host and guests only. In no way do they represent the views, positions, or opinions expressed or implied of WGSO 990 AM or North Shore Radio Incorporated.
All right, New Orleans, welcome to the Jack Clegg Show. This is Friday afternoon when you usually listen to me. WGSO 990 AM coming to you from our control center on Carondelet Avenue in New Orleans. Got a great show for you today. A lot of things prepared. I'm disappointed not because it was his fault or my fault. This were circumstances beyond our control. I was supposed to have Jeff Gibson on. Jeff, as you'll recall, was my guest a couple of weeks ago. Jeff sings at a wonderful, it's not a steakhouse, it's a burger house, but it's some of the best food around on Harrison Avenue. It's Desi Vegas. And he was here. We talked about how he got his start in music and whatnot. He focuses on a specific kind of music. And I played golf this morning with a couple of young guys, and I was saying, this guy is a great guy, Jeff Gibson, and he plays Rat Pack music. And they were like, what? What kind of music? Rat Pack music. And I had to explain what that was. During the 50s and the 60s and throughout the 70s, the Rat Pack was a group of guys that included Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., whatnot. And there were other musicians at the same era that had the same kind of music, usually very lyrical. The lyrics were good. They were funny. They were great. And Jeff plays that music. He has a machine that has the music, and he is the voice, and he will sing. And he has a tuxedo, well-dressed, and has a glass of, it looks like single malt scotch, but it's not. And in the other hand, he has a fake cigarette. So has the part. And he is such a wonderful singer, and he's a great guy. He was going to come on the show today, but we've got to push it back a couple of weeks. Something happened that neither one of us anticipated. And what I'm hoping that we're going to do is have him sing a few tunes, and we're going to have those tunes be our music. Now, it doesn't mean I'm breaking up with my current songstress, who does a wonderful job. That's Pat Benatar. We're not breaking up with Pat, but we want some local music because it's fantastic. Anyway, so we don't have Jeff today. So the call-in number today is 504-556-9696. And this week has been a very interesting week with many, many different issues. And I'm going to go through some of the ones we're going to go through today. We're going to talk about the bad ballroom. What's the bad ballroom? Well, if you don't know, President Trump has plans. He's executing on those plans to add a ballroom to the White House. One section is being demolished for the ballroom. And we're going to talk about the overreaction and greatest example of Trump derangement syndrome that anybody could get. So if you wanted to explain to someone what Trump derangement syndrome is, you could watch the reaction to this ballroom. So we're going to cover that. Another topic we're going to talk about today, hopefully, is this absolutely incredible sports gambling scandal. And I particularly I'm interested in this. There's a couple of topics that I'm, for whatever reason, very acute. I'm not a gambler, never have been. I've had other vices, but it wasn't gambling. And public education. Two things that I often like to talk about and that need serious reconsideration. And so we're going to talk about sports gambling and terms of the scandal, but really the bigger picture of what sports gambling is about. Okay. 3, we're going to also talk about a couple of examples of something that I'm afraid is going on much more often than we think. And that is certain individuals getting government support. And we all of us believe one of the jobs that government can do is when people are down on their luck or they've lost their job, they don't have a job, they've lost their house, they don't have a house, they lost their apartment, and the government can step in and help. Well, it's not like that anymore. What it is that government help becomes a permanent feature of someone's life. And when that happens, we have people misusing that. And we're going to talk about that. 2 great examples. I talked about one of them last Friday. Another one someone reminded me of that happened here in New Orleans. And we're going to talk about how people who receive benefits can't use those benefits for their own personal businesses. They can't take money that is intended for people who are really having a hard time and just take the money and use it for their businesses so they can profit. That's not what it's for. But by virtue of the fact that this is happening more often and repeatedly occurring time after time, I thought it would be wise to just remind people that this is done supposed to be for an emergency, but we see so much happening where people are entitled or believe they are entitled to this money and can spend it any way they want to. Okay, so that's another topic. One more. Let's see, where is this other one? Oh, well, we said sports gambling. Oh, finally, I'm also going to talk about immigration today. And the topic or the subtopic is how the actions by those who are against enforcing laws that protect us. Now, when I say protect us, I believe that one of the reasons that we have laws on immigration is to protect our communities, to protect all of us. I mean, what would we do here in New Orleans if suddenly 50,000 people from another country who spoke no English decided they want to come and move to New Orleans? We just want to be there. We have a right to be there. Well, that's silly. But what would happen if they did? What kind of chaos would we have? Our schools, our grocery stores, our hospitals would be overrun. And so how do we look at this entire picture of immigration? And at what point does a person who is not a U.S. citizen have a right to come here in the country and claim benefits as a citizen? Well, that's crazy. But we see people pursuing legal remedies or seeking legal remedies, seeking to do everything they can to make the undocumented aliens, that's the proper term, I guess, to give them rights. And we're going to talk about, from a legal perspective, how that works. So those are what the topics I want to talk about. But again, the phone number is 504-556-9696. Feel free to call in. Let's get right away here with one of our callers. Is Matthew around? Matthew.
I don't know where he is, but I'll go see if I can find him.
Go see if you can find the guy, because he's usually prompt, he's on time, and he's usually right on point. So when you find him, tell him it's his turn right now.
I'll do that. So the question of illegal aliens and flooding the country.
Yes.
And this is what you see is a reaction to what the business community largely sees as the demographic decline. If we can't get Americans to reproduce and have the children that Americans won't have, let's get these other people to show up. The problem is that they show up not only not being able to speak the language, but having very little in the way of skills. And because of the language barrier, it's very difficult to teach them.
I think that is a very nice summary of one of the problems. And since you've done it so well, I'm going to invite you to hold on until we go into the second inning. Right now, we have to go sell some stuff in 10
All
seconds.
right,
We'll be back in a moment. All right, hold on.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance. Say hi, guys. When I adopted them, I discovered that they both have incredible personalities. Chance's sole purpose in life is to love and to be loved. Frankie is a little bit of a scoundrel and always entertaining. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
Hey, do you ever wonder who really listens to talk radio? Or even, who is this new Lisa and why are we going live with her? And what does it mean to be unscripted? Hey guys, my name is Lisa Leonardi and I am the new talk show host of Live with Lisa Unscripted. My show is about living our unique NOLA life with a touch of inappropriateness and a ton of side-splitting laughs to get you home every Monday at 4 p.m. here on WGSO 990 AM.
Hi, this is Susan Bernicker bringing you a new show, Health Connections, every Wednesday afternoon at 5 p.m. Doctors, researchers, authors, and more. Join me Wednesdays at 5 o'clock right here on WGSO 990 AM.
Join me, Mitch Gibbs, in our 11th season as host of Breakfast with the Bayou Bengals every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 live at Mahoney's Po' Boys in New Orleans.
Feel the passion.
You have to turn the energy back up on another level.
On game day,
he's got it, he breaks a tackle.
We're all raging Cajuns.
Intercepted, 15-10, 5, touchdown, Louisiana.
Join us Saturday. Louisiana heads to Troy to battle the Trojans.
It's us against everybody.
Our coverage begins at 5 on your home for Louisiana football.
Only on the community voice of the Crescent City. WGSO 990 AM.
Hey folks, this is Jeff Cruere. At WGSO 990, we're proud to be your community voice right here in New Orleans, bringing you local talk, real news, and the issues that matter most. But we can't do it without you. WGSO is a nonprofit, listener-supported station. Your donation helps keep independent radio alive and thriving. Go to WGSO.com and click donate. Every dollar counts. Thank you for standing with us and for supporting New Orleans radio that speaks for you.
Don't miss Chew on This with John Clement and Patty B, 1 p.m. Saturdays on WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com. New time, same great flavor.
WGSO 990 AM is the only locally owned and operated talk station in New Orleans. We feature 20 local hosts discussing a variety of topics. In an era when the daily newspaper is being discontinued and our competitors are out-of-state media conglomerates, we ask you, our listeners, to support local programming on a local station. To advertise or sponsor one of our great shows, contact me at jeff@wgso.com or call 504-669-6076.
All right, New Orleans, welcome back to the Jack Clegg Show. We are opening inning number 2. And if you were listening before the break, you heard a very concise summary of our immigration issues by none other than Matthew. Matthew, again, now that you've got the summary, what would you like to discuss?
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily a discussion, but it's a question.
Sure.
Which do you think is more responsible for starting us down this path? Was it the businessman's desire for paying cheaper wages, or was it the consumer's desire for paying cheaper prices?
Neither.
Okay.
In my view, this was a politician-created issue. Why do I say that? I'll use this small example. Okay, Illinois has 17 seats in Congress. They have 15 in the House, 2 in the Senate.
Okay. Senate, yes.
Their excesses in the state of Illinois have drove people out. We know people have left California, they've left Illinois, they've left New York. Okay. It's so bad in Illinois, and that's my home state. That's where I was born, in Chicago, so I kind of pay attention occasionally what happens there. So in 26, they will only have 15 representatives. They lose 2 seats because so many people have left the state of Illinois. Okay. That's bad news for people who, in this case, are in the Democratic Party. Why do I say that? Well, those 2 seats are going to other states where people are moving to that have a more conservative bent and are more likely going to elect Republicans. So how does this work? Well, when a census is taken, they don't ask whether the people in the state are citizens or not. They just count their heads.
I remember that.
Yes. So in Illinois, for instance, that's why they're a sanctuary state. They want people to move there. They won't be able to vote, but they'll be counted. And because they're counted, Illinois could, if they got enough of them, retool and get the 17 seats that they've already had, not the 15 they had because their people have left. So, in my view, the effort to bring in illegal aliens is simply an effort to populate states and keep Democrats in control.
Okay, I can see that.
Okay. And we see it everywhere. We see it all the time. I mean, there's all kinds of different arguments. Some people are arguing that in some states, even New York and other areas, in local elections, they are allowing undocumented people to vote.
Yeah, that actually, they discovered that was happening in Texas.
Yes. And not only vote, we are giving illegals the ability to drive overland trucks and get involved in interstate commerce with a CDL license, when many of them are not allowed to get it.
Accidents.
Yes, that we've been deluged hearing about some of these drivers who speak barely any English, but they got CDL licenses and they're pulling semi-tractor trailers across the country and causing problems. Whether they cause problems or not, the bigger problem is having people on our highways. Do you remember when NAFTA passed years and years ago? Actually, 2 decades ago, we had a similar rise in accidents by drivers that were not Americans driving semi-tractor trailers in Illinois. I remember that in particular. And they got Illinois driver's license, even though they didn't even have any documents showing where they lived or where they came from. So my belief in that this political reasoning is really at the heart of all of this. Because let's say, just theoretically, not theoretically, but I think your assumptions are correct, that for whatever cultural reasons we have right now in America, American citizens are having fewer children. Now, at the same time, this is kind of odd, but at the same time, older citizens are living longer. So
Yeah.
we are not adding to it, but in a very short time, because we have an ad, I'll estimate in the next 10 to 15 years, we're going to have a serious reduction in population, because after the age of 95, life expectancy, there aren't many people that are going to exceed 95. Okay. A lot more are going from 70 to 95. But once they get that old, that's it. There aren't many that pass that.
And there are going to be a serious shortage of the number of people able to work.
Well,
even if you are still alive, are you working?
Right.
Or are you withdrawing from Social Security, which is perennially bankrupt?
Well,
and
that's another issue. Another question on all this, and we're not discussing it except on the Jack Clegg show, of course, where we discuss the major issues of the day. But one of the major issues that's happening, and we see it every night on the news, AI is replacing individuals that formerly were employed. Well, that's kind of a scary idea, unless your population is diminishing. Then, okay, I understand that.
And AI is replacing a lot of those jobs in middle management that used to be performed by the brand new college graduates.
Exactly. So they're going to have to, okay, why they would want to also compete with people from other countries coming here, I don't know. That's silly. But they seem to support immigration, but it doesn't inure to their benefit.
Do they support it, or does the TV camera just find the people who are supporting it and tell us that?
Good point.
Cause us to make a correlation.
Well, I think that's a good point, and it could very possibly be that by accident, the fact that we are trying to not have as many illegal or undocumented aliens is actually the best thing that can happen. I mean, the worst thing you can have are able-bodied citizens with no jobs to do. Okay, that's the worst. There's nothing worse than that. Now, we're not creating
able-bodied aliens without any jobs to do.
Well, they could get their jobs in the countries they come from. That's, in my view, in my political view, my idea of how the world should go. Why aren't they doing that in the country they came from? Wouldn't their chances of advancing there be greater than here? The only reason they have a chance of succeeding here is because they got government help. And that's what led me to believe this. We got to take a break. Can you hold on for the next section?
I will certainly do so, sir.
All right, back in a moment.
New Orleans' premier Halloween destination, New Orleans Nightmare, is back for another chilling season. With 2 new themed attractions, this is the Halloween experience you won't want to miss. New Orleans Nightmare is open select nights, September 20th through November 8th. Tickets are available now at www.neworleansnightmare.com.
Broadcasting from deep within the Louisiana Purchase, beneath spacious skies, overlooking the fruited plain, and smack dab in the land of the free. The American Ground Radio Program with Louis R. Abalone and Stephen Parr, where freedom grows. Listen each weeknight from 7 to 9 p.m. with Louis R. Abalone and Stephen Parr. Here on WGSO 990 AM.
Chef Jamie Gwen here. Tune in for delicious conversation and let me feed your soul every Sunday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on WGSO 990 AM, the community voice of the Crescent City.
I'm pet trendologist Charlotte Reed. Listen to the Pet Buzz airing every Saturday at 6 p.m. on WGSO 990 AM, the community voice of the Crescent City.
Join me, BJ Rust, every Saturday night for the Something to Say radio show on WGSO 990 AM, and streaming live on WGSO.com.
It's been said that in New Orleans, culture bubbles up from the street. I'm Richard Bienvenu, and we'll talk about the city's culture, food, music, and history on the brand new radio show, Completely New Orleans. So join me Mondays at 5 p.m. as we uncover hidden gems, share incredible stories, and take a deep dive into the heart of the Crescent City. That's Completely New Orleans, Mondays at 5 p.m. on WGSO. Come join us.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Andrew Greenstein. Drought conditions have been expanding across the Bayou State, but Louisiana is set to receive some much-needed rain this weekend. State climatologist Jay Grimes says 2 inches of rain could fall across South Louisiana tomorrow and Sunday.
Heading into North Louisiana, it gets even wetter. In fact, I've got 2-day totals up there that could get up above 4 inches in places.
And that widespread rain should take a bite out of the drought in a number of parishes. In a letter to President Trump, Congressman Clay Higgins is asking that all shrimp imports be paused. Higgins says radioactive shrimp on grocery store shelves is a significant public health threat. A.C. Cooper, the president of the Louisiana Shrimp Association, says he fully supports a temporary suspension of shrimp imports.
We don't mind if it's healthy shrimp coming in and it's good product, but when you start bringing all this dumping stuff in on us and don't know what you're eating, it's time to change, and this can be a really game changer for us.
LRN.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub-to-shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. Here's how it works. 1. Call to schedule your free, no-obligation consultation. 2. Our design experts come to you with real samples to customize your dream bath. 3. Our certified installers complete the transformation in as little as 1 day. And right now, for a limited time, you can upgrade your bathroom for 50% off installation or choose 18 months with no interest and no payments. But you need to call now. This special offer is only available by calling 800-518-2251. That's 800-518-2251. Call 800-518-2251 right now before the offer ends.
Are you looking for the perfect personalized gift for your friends and loved ones? Then look no further than Crow and Crescent. Crow and Crescent provides customizable handmade gifts, tumbler cups, and much more. All items are handmade with care and can be gift wrapped with personalized messages. For more information, you can find us at crowandcrescent.com and on Instagram. Crow and Crescent, let us show you the right gift for any occasion.
Hi, this is Kate Delaney from America Tonight. The show kicks on at midnight, and I'm loving the overwhelming support in New Orleans. What a group of fantastic listeners here on WGSO 990 AM. Join me every morning to catch up on what I call the buzz in your backyard and mine. You'll hear some of the most interesting people on the planet from the world of business, politics, sports, and, well, just intriguing people with a story to tell. If you're around, give us a call. Don't worry, I'll spit out the number plenty of times on the air. Let's agree to meet at midnight right here on WGSO 990 AM in New Orleans.
Pop quiz, New Orleans. What are the 2 things you're never supposed to talk about in mixed company? If you answer James Carville as an LSU fan and the genius of giving minimum age earning janitors the keys to central lockup, wrong. But if you put your I'm a proud Catholic New Orleanian thinking cap on and answered religion and politics, winner, winner, Popeye's chicken dinner. And the grand prize is I've returned to Morning Drive, where I belong, at 6 to 7 a.m. here on WGSO and simulcast on CrusadeChannel.com.
Hey, Mimi, we love Wednesdays, but we're moving to a new time.
Listen to He Said, She Said, Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
As usual, we'll be discussing and debating the hot topics.
And taking your phone calls.
You can find out who's right. Of course, that's me.
No, wait, Jeff, I'm never wrong. Remember, happy wife, happy life.
So we'll have a lot to talk about on He Said, She Said.
Listen to the Crew of Crew Air, Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
Right here on WGSO.
All right, New Orleans, welcome back to the 3rd inning of the Jack Clegg Show here on WGSO 990 AM, WGSO.com. And if you want to watch us, you can go to YouTube and type in the Jack Clegg Show, and we will appear. Okay, we're talking to one of our better guests, Matthew, who's called in, and we were talking about immigration. Before I go to another topic, Do you have another comment or two on immigration, Matthew?
No, it's just currently the people who are resisting going back are grabbing the news headlines, and you see them all in the news. And I think like 600,000 of them have been basically forcibly deported.
Yes.
Kicking and screaming the whole way. It turns out, though, about 2 million decided to just go ahead and take the $1,000 per person and fly back in a nice, comfortable, air-conditioned jet plane.
Sure.
Believe it or not, we're capable of being humane.
Well, and you don't hear about that at all. You don't hear about that. And it leads me right into the next story I wanted to talk about, called Bad Ballroom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That
talking
is
about?
hilarious.
Okay. All right. Now,
There's a new derangement syndrome on the horizon.
Well, it's all part. This is a second. It's like, okay, if you get a cold, it can lapse into something worse, pneumonia or strep throat or whatever else can happen. But it all starts with being sick. Trump derangement syndrome can happen anywhere, but it has followed anything he touches. Okay. The Guardian had this very, very concise article entitled East Wing of the White House Reduced to Rubble as part of Trump's ballroom construction. Okay.
Nope. There's no trigger words in there.
Not at all. Okay. So, all right, let's just say you wanted to tell someone you were putting an addition onto your house. Okay. And they said, what are you going to do? Well, we've got a 2,000 square foot home and we're going to put on another 700 square feet. We're going to, demolish part of the garage wall and then the siding on that side of the house and make an attachment so you can get from the garage into the house in the rain. And we've got an extra bedroom there for our we're expecting our father-in-law to come back and live with us for a while. Okay, that's it. But to say that you were going to make your house, a portion of your house, rubble, just doesn't tell the story, does it?
No, but it's great at evoking an image and an emotional reaction.
And that is the intention of those with Trump derangement syndrome who also have jobs in the media. Okay, that was the title.
Everybody in the news media.
That was the title. The first paragraph. This is even better. The East Wing of the White House has now been completely destroyed to pave way for Donald Trump's $300 million planned gilded ballroom. Just days after the administration announced it would happen, and contradicting Trump's earlier promise that the existing building would not be touched. Okay. Now, this was today's paper. Okay. Did you happen to see the press secretary's response to the similar questions yesterday?
No, I really, at the risk of sounding like I'm not civically involved, I avoid the news.
And that's understood.
Like understood. Of monkeypox.
But what she did was outstanding. She stood up before the audience, all the reporters. They were asking the similar loaded questions, primarily trying to say that what Trump is doing is we had a White House that had been untouched by man since the beginning of time. And evil Donald Trump
sounded just like that.
Yes, that's how they sound. And evil Donald Trump is turning it, part of it, into rubble. He's destroying the ballroom. Okay, one more paragraph, and then I'm going to tell you what the press secretary did. Satellite images on Friday showed the historic building's eastern section reduced to rubble, to the outrage of historians. White House officials, former White House officials, and much of the public. Okay. this is the greatest example in a very short few paragraphs of why the media cannot be believed. Okay? Going back to the press secretary, yesterday, she was asked this question. She was prepared for it. She had 6 different photographs, beginning in 1906, showing parts of the White House being demolished for improvements. And she held up this one, 1906, this one, 1924, this one, 1935, this one, 1948, this one, 1963, this one, the basketball court that Obama built, okay? And all of them. And she explained them all. And this is not a static building that rose from the rubble after the Declaration of Independence and has been pristine since then. It's a building that's changed. It's a building that changed for good reasons. And at this particular time, the reason that this is being put there is no space in the White House to have a 100 plus person attended meeting. Okay? Now they're calling it a ballroom because that's the shape of it, but it's intended to be used for dinners, White House dinners, et cetera, where people can attend it at the White House. This is what is all over Europe and all over. When there is a capital, there is something attached to the principal lawmaker's house where these things can take place. It's not unusual.
I was rather surprised to find out that the White House did not have a ballroom.
I know, and so this one is there, but the most significant thing I think for all of us to look at and think about is what causes people to actually write the poison that I was just reading you a while ago. This is a building that has we're going to put a change to it. Like if you go through any neighborhood in America, there are homes, buildings that get modified and changed. It's not a sin. There's nothing wrong with that. And, I had not known in detail what the press secretary did, but I knew the White House had different modifications to it. It always did. It burned down. The British burned it down. And it was rebuilt. Yes. And so these things happen, but and this one is done intentionally. But the most important thing, okay, I'm today's show and all the time, I'm very, very, very interested in how taxpayer money is used. Okay, this $300 million project does not cost anything to the American taxpayer. And it says, even according to this, donors for Trump's $300 million White House ballroom include Google and Apple. Okay. They got a lot of cash. And they want the president to pay attention to them. So they've donated money for a plan he has to use. Does that sound wrong to you?
Well, let's leave aside Google and Apple's possible nefarious intentions.
That's correct.
Take it at face value and say that it is actually fairly clever to get them to pony up the money for this.
Well, if I'm an American taxpayer, I'm happy. Yeah. And if they're donating for this specific thing is going to get them some advantage with the federal government, okay. I got it. So if somebody breaks the law, particularly if they're involved with the Trump administration, are they going to be surprised if they get investigated, maybe indicted? No, they're not. Because that is the battle against Trump. It's always that battle and nothing else, because Now the citizenry of the United States is behind this guy. And the only way to get to him is to concoct some kind of criminal issues. Anyway.
Well, I think there's another effort underway. And I was thinking about this today on my way to visit Mr. Charlie in Morgan City.
I got to ask you to hold on with Mr. Charlie. We'll take a break. We'll get back to you in a moment with your last comments. This is the Jack Clegg Show. We'll be back in a moment.
Severe weather causes telecom network outages. The FCC recommends that you call 911 only when necessary and limit non-emergency calls. Avoid repetitive redialing to minimize network congestion. Try texting if a call doesn't go through. Conserve cell phone power and turn off your phone when not in use. If evacuated, forward landline calls to your cell phone and use your outgoing message to update your status. For more info, go to fcc.gov/emergency.
Are you looking for the perfect personalized gift for your friends and loved ones? Then look no further than Crow and Crescent. Crow and Crescent provides customizable handmade gifts, tumbler cups, and much more. All items are handmade with care and can be gift wrapped with personalized messages. For more information, you can find us at crowandcrescent.com and on Instagram. Crow and Crescent, let us show you the right gift for any occasion.
Big Easy Pet Shop and Rescue is a nonprofit volunteer-run rescue. We provide adoption services and care for homeless animals across the New Orleans metro area. We also offer pet supplies and grooming services at our downtown and Marigny locations. The shops are located at 839 Spain Street and 513 Dumaine Street and are open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. weekdays and noon to 6 on Saturdays, noon to 5 on Sundays. We can be found on the web at BigEasyPetShop.com. Support local animals in need by shopping and adopting with Big Easy Animal Rescue.
Hey folks, it's Jeff Cruaire. I've been with WGSO for 17 years as host and now president and general manager. WGSO is a community-based radio station, a nonprofit, locally operated. We believe in cultivating local talent and emphasizing local programs. If you have an interest in hosting your own program, then we have some prime spots available for you. Take advantage of this great offer. Email me at jeff@wgso.com or call me at 504-669-6076. Come fulfill your radio dreams at WGSO.
Hi, this is Douglas Viviani of Everything Old is New Again. Join us for America's entertainment pop culture talk show right here on WGSO every Sunday night at 6.
Need signs, printing, or marketing? How about unique New Orleans souvenirs and even Hal the Cajun Lady accent seasoning? At Sir Speedy Signs Print and Marketing, we're more than a print shop. We're your one-stop destination in the CBD. From bold business signage to memorable gifts and local flavor, we've got everything to make your brand or your visit unforgettable. Come see us downtown or online at SirSpeedyNewOrleans.com. Sir Speedy Signs, souvenirs, and seasonings with a Cajun kick.
Hello, this is David Jeremiah. Join me each weekday morning at 4:30 or 5:30 a.m. for Turning Point on the community voice of the Crescent City WGSO.
Hi, this is Rusty, owner of the Olive Branch Cafe. Join me on Tuesdays at 4 for the Best Bank Hour on WGSO 990.
All right, New Orleans. Welcome back to the Jack Clegg Show here on WGSO 990 AM, WGSO.com for the audio podcast, and YouTube, the Jack Clegg Show. You type in the Jack Clegg Show after finding YouTube on your telephone or your laptop, and you can see our show. Okay, Matthew, last point. What were you saying?
Okay, so I think a lot of this has to do with the news media's determination to just make us tired of Donald Trump and give us Trump fatigue syndrome.
Maybe
If
so.
not
Yeah,
Trump
yeah.
derangement syndrome. Everything he does is a controversy. Anything he does is a controversy. There are so many rumors swirling around Donald Trump and the Trump family. Like, for instance, did you know that Melania hates Donald Trump?
Oh, I've heard that. Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Yeah,
what was the one I heard
she's
this
only
morning
staying
about
married to him for the
Melania?
money.
There was something she did, and bringing her into it. I mean, she has been kind of a classy first lady the first 4 years and up until right now. I've never seen her out of sorts. I've never seen her yell at anyone. I've never seen or heard anything like that.
You've never seen her with Donald Trump, have you?
No, I have. maybe you know more than I. All right,
But I'm
Matthew,
just telling
thanks for
you-
calling. Let's see, we got another caller, Rusty. Rusty, how are you, sir?
I'm going to give you headaches today.
Oh, good. I bet you've had
No,
a
I'm
whole
not gonna
week to
give you
prepare
headaches,
for
but-
this. This
but
better be
I'm gonna-
good.
I must say, I wanted to focus on the immigration thing.
Okay.
But before I do with the Donald Trump thing,
yes,
I know the media hates Donald Trump. There's no question in my mind. I've been seeing that for many years.
Sure.
And,
sure.
And they're looking for anything to say bad about him. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Right.
But he's picked a bad time to do this renovation. I know he's not paying for it. It's donations. But the country's going through a shutdown. And it's giving bad feelings to people who are going to be hurting financially. And those even who may not be hurting financially.
Okay.
So his timing, I think, is way off. I have no problem with him renovating, especially if it has to do with other people's money.
Sure.
I have no problem with that. But the shutdown is going on, and in about a week from now, if they don't do something, there's going to be a lot of people hurting. And I think that's the issue I have with it. Why couldn't he wait till this thing is passed?
Well,
and that's my question. And then I want to say something about immigration. Go ahead.
I have one real simple answer. Despite the media believing that he's going to run for a third term, I don't think so. And I
No,
don't
me
think
either.
he's planning on it. Okay. So
Yeah.
that means he doesn't have a lot of time to do this stuff, particularly if he wants to see it finished. Okay. So delaying this a year or so, he may not see it by the time he's president. I don't know. The $300 million project is, what's that?
You don't have to delay it a year. You just have to delay it till the shutdown is over with.
Well, I don't know when that's going to end. I don't know when it's going to end.
Well, it's going to have to end pretty soon because there's going to be hell to pay in this country.
Well,
when you got tons of people who are going to be without food, without some without medical, but I'm not leaning toward that so much.
Sure.
But on other, because I know the Democrats are falling on that. But something is going to have to break, unless, as you said one time, well, maybe you didn't say it directly.
Okay.
1860.
Sure.
And it's going to be hell to pay. And all I'm saying is to him is that sometimes I think he thinks he can say and do anything. And people need to jump on a board. Now, again, I don't have no problem with what he's doing. It's when he's doing it. So,
well, it's a good topic. The question of the shutdown is a great topic. Okay.
Yeah.
Question number one. Whose job is it to end the shutdown?
I think, generally speaking, I think it's the Democrats.
No, I'm not even being. I'm going to say which branch of government is supposed to deal with the opening and the shutting of government.
Opening and shutting of government.
Yeah, it's Congress.
Huh?
It's Congress.
Yeah.
It's their job. It is their job. You don't hear secretaries of Health and Human Services. You don't hear them making a speech saying, "Well, when we get our crap together, we'll reopen." No, it's not them. It's not that's the executive branch. It's not the judicial branch. It's not the Supreme Court. It's all Congress. And I think, in my view, okay, we know what Trump wants. The Democrats know what Trump wants. The Republicans know what Trump wants. And Trump is there saying, guys, fix it. And they can't. And they can't. So I mean, we know that we do not have, fortunately, the most educated populace in the world. What every year when the statistics come out, we drop further and further. I think our education right now, we rank like 47th in the world in terms of educating our young people. Now, I can understand somebody saying it's someone's fault, someone. But at the same time, that's like saying, well, he's our king. We need our king to act. Well, we just went through last weekend where the Democrats were saying no kings, no kings, no kings. Okay, do it right. You got guys and girls in Congress, and I haven't heard, now maybe you have and I missed it, but I haven't heard anybody floating a scheme to fix this. There have been multiple votes. The Democrats know that the Senate requires 60 votes. Right. Although the Republicans have a majority, they don't have 60. They got like 54, 55, something like that. So, but the Democrats are against the clean CR. Nobody disputes it's clean because they want political favors for their own constituencies in order to reopen the government. Did I accurately depict it?
I understand what you're saying. You know, can I throw some out that probably won't go anywhere?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
After so long a time, when these people don't pass something by having 60 votes,
sure,
it should go after so long a time just to the majority of votes.
Well, that's a good point. That is a good point. And I heard Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, talk about ways they could get around the 60 vote. I know those are possibilities. And you put your finger on that item, okay? But because we have that item, here's the game of chicken that's being played. Does Trump believe that Trump believes it will be settled? The Democrats believe it will be settled, right? Am I right?
They both BSing us.
Well, but they both believe it'll ultimately be settled. No one is going to say
ultimately.
Right.
How many months?
Well, that's it. How much pain is going to be created, and who's going to be responsible for the pain? We got 2 seconds left. Can you hold on to the?
I would love to.
After 5 o'clock, we have our 5:04 is our next section.
Yeah.
Okay, Rusty. Thanks, folks. We'll be back in a minute.
Personalized gift for your friends and loved ones? Then look no further than Crow and Crescent. Crow and Crescent provides customizable handmade gifts, tumbler cups, and much more. All items are handmade with care and can be gift wrapped with personalized messages. For more information, you can find us at crowandcrescent.com and on Instagram. Crow and Crescent, let us show you the right gift for any occasion.
Tired of waiting for dinner? Meet Brava, the revolutionary countertop oven that uses pure light to cook your food hotter, faster, and with incredible precision. With 3 independent cooking zones and powerful searing, Brava cooks meals 2 to 4 times faster than traditional ovens. No preheating, no guesswork. And now for a limited time, enter Chew on This at checkout and get $200 off your Brava oven. Brava, pure light, perfect food. Shop now at brava.com. Hi, this is Susan Berniker bringing you a new show, Health Connections, every Wednesday afternoon at 5 p.m. when we explore health from doctors, researchers, scientists, naturopaths, pharmacists, authors, fitness, and more. You'll be able to call in and ask your own health questions. So join me, Susan Berniker, every Wednesday at 5 p.m. right here on WGSO 990 AM with Health Connections.
Listen each weeknight from 7 to 9 p.m. with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr here on WGSO 990 AM.
Join me, Mitch Gibbs, every Thursday at 4 p.m. live at Premier Nissan at 6636 Veterans Boulevard, where never meets Canada, for our 16th season in the red.
Don't get stuck in boring talk radio. Give it a much-needed splash of laughs and a little Southern Louisiana flavor. The Implicit Bias Radio Show. Every Saturday morning, 7 to 9 a.m. on WGSO 990
Beginning
AM.
with Biz Radio to speaking easy New Orleans style to becoming the community voice of the Crescent City. We are WGSO 990 AM New Orleans.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The Trump administration says it has carried out a 10th strike on a suspected drug boat. Correspondent Donna Warder reports.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the U.S. military has carried out another strike on a vessel in the Caribbean suspected of carrying drugs. 6 people were killed in the overnight strike. In a social media post, Hegseth blames the Tren de Aragua gang for operating the vessel, and posted is a 20-second black and white video in which a small boat can be seen sitting motionless in the water when a long, thin projectile descends on it during an explosion. Donna Warder, Washington.
President Trump is sounding optimistic about his upcoming talks with Chinese President Xi. White House correspondent reports.
The two will be meeting soon at a regional summit in South Korea, and President Trump predicts a successful trade outcome.
I expect we'll probably work out a very fair deal with President Xi of China.
In particular, the president wants China to buy more soybeans from American farmers. He has threatened massive tariffs on Chinese imports if a deal isn't reached. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford says he's pulling the TV ad that caused President Trump to say he was ending trade negotiations with Canada. The ad used former President Ronald Reagan's words to criticize U.S. tariffs. Trump claims the ad misrepresented Reagan's stance on tariffs and was intended to influence the U.S. Supreme Court decision on his tariffs policy. Ford said after talking with Prime Minister Mark Carney, he's decided to pause the advertising campaign effective Monday so trade talks can resume. On Wall Street, the Dow by 472 points, the Nasdaq rose 263. More at townhall.com.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife, and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
Here's the Wall Street Business Report.
The government issues a mixed picture on inflation for last month.
The Labor Department says gas prices went up, rent costs, growth appears steep, but hiring has slowed. The numbers show inflation has risen more slowly than many economists expected when President Trump imposed sweeping tariffs. Ed Donahue, Washington.
The leader of Canada's most populous province says he'll pull the anti-tariff ad that prompted President Trump to end trade talks with Canada. The ads will continue to run this weekend, including during the first World Series games between the Toronto Blue Jays and Los Angeles Dodgers. President Trump sounding optimistic about his upcoming talks with Chinese President Xi. He heads for Asia tonight. A booming session on Wall Street at the closing bell. The Dow was up 472 points. The Nasdaq up by 263. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
News and analysis at townhall.com.
Rain chances going up for the weekend. Tomorrow it'll just be scattered for the afternoon through the early evening. Then another round comes to us early in the morning Sunday till about noon. But overnight tonight, just some clouds increasing, stays dry, and won't be as cool in the morning, 60s to 70. Tomorrow, scattered afternoon activity, low 80s. Some could be around tomorrow night too. The best chance, early morning till about noon Sunday, then improving through the afternoon, the high of 80. Melissa, still expected to be no threat to the Gulf. Ralph Sanji, WGSO. The Yellow Leaf Arts Festival at Parker Park, St. Francisville. Art and music activities for the young and young at heart. Opportunities for hands-on pottery and more. 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. both days. Saturday, Sunday, October 25th and 26th. The Yellow Leaf Arts Festival at Parker Park, St. Francisville. Click artsforallwestfeliciana.com.
The views and opinions expressed during this show are those of the host and guests only. In no way do they represent the views, positions, or opinions expressed or implied of WGSO 990 AM or North Shore Radio Incorporated.
All right, New Orleans, welcome back to the fifth inning of the Jack Clegg Show, right after 5 o'clock. And we're talking to one of our favorite callers, Rusty, about the immigration issues. And we have morphed into the question of who ultimately will be held responsible for the closing of the government. Part of that question is how long do we think it's going to go? And my position was this is something that Congress has to decide. Yeah. Now, I know people will blame Trump for everything. They're blaming him for destroying the White House. we just talked about that with Matthew a couple of moments ago. So no matter what he does, he's going to get blamed for any of the fallout. But the real question is, looking at the last election, many people that heretofore would not have voted for a Republican voted for Trump. Mm-hmm. And I think if they had an election today, they'd vote for Trump again. I think this is one simple thing. Have we seen in our lifetime, and I'm 70, you're probably a few years younger than I am, but have you seen a president working as hard as Donald Trump in your lifetime?
No, I think he's working too hard. He looks red to me in the face.
Well, that may be true too. That may be true. But I see him working on issues time and time again.
He's never stopping.
Right. And so what more can you ask for someone other than, well, he doesn't do it the way I would do it. You're not in a position to do it. That's why you're sitting at home throwing shoes at your television.
And I try not to put my nose too much into thinking I know better than they do.
Right.
But I'm gonna say this. What this has done, this shutdown, I don't know why it hasn't done this before in the past. It has showed me how selfish these politicians can be. Sure. Particularly, I have to say, the Democrats. Because basically, they're telling me they don't care how many people suffer by not allowing this bill to go through.
Sure.
They don't care. And as long as they get their policies and agenda going forward, that's their main thought, and not really the people. That's why I say I don't know why they can't do a majority vote after 30 days or so, or whatever it is.
I'm with you. It would be called breaking the filibuster. The filibuster has been significant in the Senate for how many 130 years, I think, and it's been there, and it is useful in some ways. But to use the filibuster to prevent a stopgap measure, and this is what the CR is, a stopgap measure. It's saying just give the money that President Biden agreed, and both houses agreed to, for the budget for 2025. Just give us that money to finish out 2025. We may have a huge fight, another huge fight down the line for the 26 budget, but just give us that money that was supposed to be there. And the Democrats say, well, we will if you agree to this. And the agreed to this is something that would actually negate part of the bill that was passed by the House and the Senate earlier this summer. And in particular,
I agree with you 100%.
yeah, in
I agree
particular,
with that.
it's the giving undocumented aliens health care.
Yes.
And we can't afford that. And forget about whether they deserve it or not. The question is, can we afford to do that? And I don't think so. Have the Democrats said, well, you know what? We have a lot of undocumented aliens who need health care. We want all of our donors to put their money into that. We want people to donate money so undocumented individuals can get health care. Have they done that?
No.
No. They want their donors to contribute to their campaigns. They don't want them to give the money that would solve this problem. No one has asked them because
they don't want to do it.
They don't want to do it. They're not going to do it. And so, I kind of look at Trump's almost laissez-faire attitude toward this is, you guys in the House and the Senate are responsible for this. Do your jobs. Now, the Democrats were invited to come to the White House to talk about it, and they didn't show up. They didn't want to. So,
But Jack, let me no matter what the Republicans do, they're going to be blamed. No matter, they can't win because the media is always on the Democratic side. And it's the cause why the Democrats, generally speaking, even when Trump was in the office first time around, he always conceded. He kept saying, well, next time I won't do it. And he kept conceding to them. And it's time for them to take a stand. And especially because of this illegal stuff.
Right.
Right. I'm going to say it straight, and I hope you guys got his hand on the thing, the button. But they need to.
Kobe, are you ready to get the button? Because I think he's going to say a dirty word here.
No. Almost a dirty word. They need to kick these people's ass out of the country.
I think that's the idea. I think that's the idea. And in my view, give me 4 minutes. I'm going to give you the Jack Clegg, what would you call it? My analysis of Washington, D.C. Okay, here's what it is. It's this simple, okay? For a long time since Bill Clinton, I'll say, and yeah, since Bill Clinton, because I don't think Obama was the leader of the Democratic Party. I don't. I think he did things his own way, and that's what happened. And as long as he won, everybody cheered and so forth and so on. Okay. When Trump won after Obama, people saw, wait a minute, things could be done differently. And they did. Okay. So in 2000, when he faced that election in 2000, who were the leading Democrats? None.
2000?
In 2000, there was nobody. I'm sorry, 2020. I apologize. 2020. There was nobody.
What about Nancy Pelosi?
She didn't run for president.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, against Trump. There was Kamala Harris, who didn't make any sense to anybody. What was Pocahontas, the one that Trump always made fun of from Massachusetts, who who claimed she was an Indian to get into Ivy League schools, an American Native Indian. They had 12 different people running, and no one. We can't even remember who they were. Okay, so suddenly Biden, who did nothing in his entire career, and he was vice president under Obama. Okay, Hillary knocked him out of the Democratic nomination for 2016. Okay, so he comes in. My view, what I know now, and watching Biden's performance from 2000 forward or 2020 forward, Biden's a nothing. He was a nothing. Okay, so what did they do? They nominated him, and somehow he got elected. All right. Who ran the country? Do you think Biden did?
I have some reservations about. I think he had something to do with it. I don't think he was that incapacitated.
Okay, I think it was the same people who cannot run the country now. I don't think the Democrats have had a leader. I think they wanted a lot of people in the Democratic Party, and by doing that, they're just getting groups. We're going to take your group. We'll take your group. We'll make you a victim, and we'll help you out. We'll tell the rest of the country you're a victim. We'll send you some money, but we want you to join our group. And that's what's happened over and over and over and over again. There's not a single voice that makes any sense. I'm going to go on with my analysis in 10 seconds. Well, in a few minutes after the break. Would you hold on?
I sure will.
All right, back in a few moments with the Jack Clegg Show.
Hey, do you ever wonder who really listens to talk radio? Or even, who is this new Lisa and why are we going live with her? And what does it mean to be unscripted? Hey guys, my name is Lisa Leonardi and I am the new talk show host of Live with Lisa Unscripted. My show is about living our unique NOLA life with a touch of inappropriateness and a ton of side-splitting laughs to get you home every Monday at 4 p.m. here on WGSO 990 AM.
Join me, Mitch Gibbs, host of Breakfast with the Bayou Bengals, in our 11th season, talking LSU Tiger football every Saturday morning live from 9 to 11 at Mahoney's Po' Boys, located at 3454 Magazine Street in New Orleans. The 2025 season expectations are very high, so join me every Saturday morning live on WGSO Radio.
Feel the passion.
You have to turn the energy back up on another level.
On game day.
He's got it, he breaks a tackle.
We're all Raging Cajuns.
Intercepted, 15-10, 5, touchdown, Louisiana.
Join us Saturday. Louisiana heads to Troy to battle the Trojans.
It's us against everyone.
Our coverage begins at 5 on your home for Louisiana football.
Only on the community voice of the Crescent City, WGSO 990 AM.
Get ready, boys and girls, and all you flashback freaks. Here's what we promised you. It's what New Orleans loves best, oldies, but not the kind that you can dance to. It's the voices of talk radio hosts back 25 years ago when it all began. You'll hear old commercials, newscasts, PSAs, but most of all, the voices of Larry Regan, Ed Butler, Keith Rush, Nut and Jeff, even threw in Jeff Coulier there. Callers back then also were the celebrities. So be sure to join us Saturdays at 11 a.m. with Jude Booth.
Hey, this is BJ Russ. Make sure you join me every Saturday night for the Something to Say radio show right here on WGSO 990 AM. We'll be on from 7 to 8 p.m. We'll talk sports, music, movies, and pretty much anything in between. Saturday nights at 7 p.m. on WGSO 990 AM. That's the place to be. And don't forget that you can listen to us on WGSO.com and on the Mixler app.
Calling all home cooks, whether you're a kitchen pro or just love to stir the pot. Chew on This is your Saturday destination for culinary inspiration. Join Don Clement and me, Patty B, every week at 1 p.m. on Saturdays at WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com. We'll talk with chefs, cookbook authors, food artisans, and passionate home cooks just like you. Get tips, tricks, and tasty ideas to bring into your own kitchen. That's Chew on This, Saturdays at 1 p.m. on WGSO.
All right, New Orleans, welcome back to the Jack Clegg Show here on WGSO 990 AM, WGSO.com, and YouTube, the Jack Clegg Show. Okay, before the break, I was giving my analysis of the positions of the political parties right now. Okay, we have one party, the Republican Party. Who's in charge? Is there a dispute as to who's in charge?
You're asking me?
Yeah, Rusty, do you think there's a dispute as to who's in charge of the Republican Party?
Even though the Congress is supposedly ran by the Republicans, there's still some kind of dispute. It doesn't seem like they are. It doesn't seem like they're running things.
Well, what I was saying is, of the people that consider themselves Republicans, they will all say Donald Trump is our leader.
Oh, okay.
He is the leader of the Republican Party. And I don't think there's anybody that would dispute that. There's no other name. I don't know who they would pick. Mike Johnson? No, he's not the leader of the Republican Party.
No.
It's Donald Trump. Okay. Now, who's the leader of the Democratic Party?
Schumer?
You think so? I don't think I don't think there's enough people that would follow Schumer out of a burning building. Okay, I don't think so. Not that I don't like him. I don't care about him one way or the other, but I don't think there's that many people. His name is not used by, Senator Schumer says, No. It's not like Trump. Okay. They don't fawn all over Schumer. Schumer is like the guy herding cats because his party is everywhere. And there's no control over any individual. And my point is this. There's no identifiable leader of the Democratic Party. Okay, you mentioned Schumer by name, okay? Hakeem Jeffries by name. They have title, but they're not leaders of the Democratic Party. All the Democrats are they're looking, who do we go? We hear governors, like governor of Illinois, Porkchop, I think is what his first name is. And we hear the guy in California. We hear others. But they are a leaderless organization. So, and why am I saying that? Okay. The country, win or lose, we're going to have the government reopened at some point. Okay. Then the question is going to be, who's at fault? Now, they can always say Trump. All right. For the rest of the country, Trump gets blamed for everything. Trump, the media makes up a story like the rubble in the White House because of this addition he's putting on to the White House. People don't take the media that seriously. I don't think they do. Do you?
To be honest, Jack, I know a guy who I've been knowing for 50 years who listens to CNN, and whatever CNN says, he accepts.
Yeah. And there are people that do the same for Fox. It's, and you are right. But I'm thinking most people today, with the rise of the internet, with so many different stories and so many different authors of stories existing out there, it's hard for me to believe that many people buy into CNN. I don't think so. I know there are many people. I don't know how many the numbers are who despise Donald Trump. I mean, I have friends of mine that have been friends for a long time. We just don't talk about it because no matter what the issue is, they will blame him for the bad part and they'll give no credit for the good part. But what we were talking about is, okay, on the closing of the country, what's going to happen? All I can say is it's hard.
Blame Trump.
Well, Trump is easy. Trump's going to be blamed no matter how it goes by a certain segment of people.
Yeah.
But by the Republicans and those that support the Republican positions on things, I don't think they're going to blame Trump. I don't.
No, I don't blame him. Period.
Yes.
But the media is so powerful in this country. It's
That's
not
true.
just CNN. It's all the media, mainstream media, all together. All of them together keep feeding this poison to the people. Like, for example, if I can say this real quick.
Sure.
The time may be running out.
Yeah.
I don't understand why minorities are fighting to keep illegals in this country.
And many of them are not. And you put a good point out there. The problem is many of them are not, but if the media doesn't put them on the air, you never hear their position.
Yes, exactly. They're not getting heard.
Right.
And the truth of the matter is, right now, if anyone should want the illegals to go and not get this money that they're asking for from the Democrats, they're asking for, it's the minorities, because they're hurting them more than anybody else.
Well, yeah, I mean, whether you characterize the minorities as being Latin American, African American, or women, it doesn't matter. You're right. You're correct. And but I really don't think that this is going to continue longer. I don't think so. I mean, I expected after Kamala Harris got her hat handed to her, I expected somebody to rise up in the Democratic Party. Someone. And we got nobody. You're telling me that the best, not you're telling me, but we're expected to believe that the governor of Illinois, I think they called him Governor Porkchop, that Governor Porkchop is a leader of the Democratic Party. Nobody likes that guy. Nobody.
I think they want the guy from California, your friend from California. I know the answer. They think he's the new.
Well, certainly. He's a good-looking guy. He's fit. He's glib. All those things. I don't think he's got enough, but for whatever reason, to me, there's really one dynamic. Are we a capitalist country or are we socialist? Okay? The problem with the Democratic Party is so many in the Democratic Party are socialist. And they go toward a socialist culture, a socialist economy, a nanny state, if you will, that they're never going to come together on that. They're not going to get all the Democrats that are from the South and all the Democrats that believe that it's America, okay? And you got to work hard to succeed.
But Jack, if I can interject one thought here.
Sure.
Look at New York, the three guys that are running.
Boy, oh boy, that's a great point. Yeah.
Curtis.
Yeah.
He don't have a chance, Curtis. The other guy, the Democrat, he's an old traditional.
Cuomo. You're talking about Cuomo.
Cuomo.
Yeah.
But the guy that's ahead in the polls by double digits, what is his name? Manding, I forgot.
Yeah, Mondami. Yeah.
And he's running on make New York affordable. So I don't buy into that necessarily, that the Democratic Party, not the Republicans, don't want socialism.
I'm going to ask you to hold on. We got to take a break here. Can you hold on?
Go ahead.
All right. We'll be back in a few moments after the news with the Jack Clegg Show.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
Are you looking for the perfect personalized gift for your friends and loved ones? Then look no further than Crow and Crescent. Crow and Crescent provides customizable handmade gifts, tumbler cups, and much more. All items are handmade with care and can be gift wrapped with personalized messages. For more information, you can find us at crowandcrescent.com and on Instagram. Crow and Crescent, let us show you the right gift for any occasion.
Hey, Mimi, we love Wednesdays, but we're moving to a new time.
Listen to He Said, She Said, Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
As usual, we'll be discussing and debating the hot topics.
And taking your phone calls.
You can find out who's right. Of course, that's me.
No, wait, Jeff, I'm never wrong. Remember, happy wife, happy life.
So we'll have a lot to talk about on He Said, She Said.
Listen to the Crew of Crew Air, Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
Right here on WGSO.
It's pet trendologist Charlotte Reed. Listen to the latest pet trends with benefits on the Pet Buzz, airing every Saturday at 6 p.m. Join me as I talk all things pets, from animal health and wellness, money-saving tips, the newest pet products, celebrity pet gossip, breaking news, and more. Our expert guests are in the know and in the now. To learn more about our unique program, our guest, and me, your host, listen to the show on WGSO 990, the community voice of the Crescent City.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Jeff Palermo. The Louisiana Shrimp Association is hailing Congressman Clay Higgins' request to halt shrimp imports.
In his letter to President Trump calling for a suspension of shrimp imports, Congressman Clay Higgins says imported shrimp contaminated with radioactive material is a public health threat. Louisiana Shrimp Association President A.C. Cooper couldn't agree more.
We're just trying to get everybody to realize what they're bringing into this country and what they're feeding our people.
Cooper says he would like to see more stringent testing on imported shrimp, especially since the FDA prohibits the use of antibiotics in domestically caught shrimp.
They test our product more than they test imports, and that's a shame.
I'm Andrew Greenstein.
The Saints host the Buccaneers on Sunday. New Orleans running back Kendre Miller will miss the rest of the season with a torn ACL. Coach Kellen Moore says that means rookie Devin Neal will get more carries.
Devin's prepared. He's ready to go.
Kickoff is at 3:05 on Sunday. Louisiana Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices. To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office. I'm Richard Fontenot, president of the Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation. While I'm a fourth-generation rice and soybean grower, you don't have to be a farmer to be a Louisiana Farm Bureau member. Membership has its benefits, from discounts on car seats, hotel rooms, and rental cars, to access to insurance you can count on to be there when you need, plus a whole lot more. We're 145,000 members strong, and we want you to join the Louisiana Farm Bureau family.
Visit lafarmbureau.org. The Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation, the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
Pop quiz, New Orleans. What are the two things you're never supposed to talk about in mixed company? If you answer James Carville as an LSU fan and the genius of giving minimum age earning janitors the keys to central lockup, wrong. But if you put your I'm a proud Catholic New Orleanian thinking cap on and answered religion and politics, winner, winner, Popeye's chicken dinner. And the grand prize is I've returned to Morning Drive, where I belong, at 6 to 7 a.m. here on WGSO and simulcast on CrusadeChannel.com.
Visiting New Orleans? Don't just take home memories. Take home a piece of the Big Easy. At Sir Speedy Signs, Print and Marketing, we've expanded beyond business. Pick up colorful souvenirs, whimsical notions, and how the Cajun Lady accent seasoning to spice up your kitchen back home. And for local businesses, we're still your trusted partner for signage, printing, and marketing. Stop by our shop in the CBD, just steps from the French Quarter. Sir Speedy, signs, souvenirs, and everything in between.
Chef Jamie Gwen here. Tune in for delicious conversation and let me feed your soul every Sunday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on WGSO 990 AM, the community voice of the Crescent City.
Get up early on Saturdays and talk LSU athletics with us. Tiger Rag Radio every Saturday morning, 5 to 7 on WGSO, the community voice of the Crescent City.
Broadcasting from deep within the Louisiana Purchase, beneath spacious skies, overlooking the fruited plain, and smack dab in the land of the free. The American Ground Radio program with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr, where freedom grows. Listen each weeknight from 7 to 9 p.m. with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr, here on WGSO 990 AM.
Goldie on the Blonde.
Radical Radio for Radical Times.
Wednesdays at 4 on WGSO.
Follow us on X at Aldi Blonde.
'cause that's not America.
All right, New Orleans, welcome back to the Jack Clegg Show. We are entering the 7th inning of our 8-inning game here. And Rusty, one last comment. I got to go on to I prepared some other examples of what's going on in the world, particularly that gambling scandal. I want to talk a little bit about that.
Okay, Jack.
All right. Do you have anything more to say about immigration?
Well, like I said, we got an immigrant running in New York,
Yeah.
and he's a socialist immigrant, and he is not typical of Americans. He's a Muslim, and this shows you where the mentality of the Democrats are coming from. So,
I agree.
on that note, I'll let you go on.
Thank you. Some good points.
Okay,
Thanks a
go
lot for calling. Okay. One of the things I wanted to talk about today on the show, and again, our calling number is 504-556-9696, is a topic that is very, very close to me. I've known people that have become homeless because of gambling. I know that's broken up families, people I knew in Chicago. It's not a New Orleans thing. It's not a Cleveland thing. It is a nationwide thing, and it's all over the world as well. Okay. The problem is sports gambling, which historically was illegal, except for horse racing and boxing. And in Vegas, you could make some bets in Vegas. But it wasn't until recently, in 2018, that the Supreme Court ruled that states could establish their own sports wagering laws, and they have. I think there are 35 states that now have it legal there. But the problem is the sports betting is not limited to the state. It's legal in the state, but who's running there's in Louisiana, for instance, it's legal. But there's no Louisiana company that is betting. Most Louisiana and the 35 states, most people are involved in sports betting books that are online. Okay? They're on your phone. I got a broker, Kent Wise, who's been a broker of mine for years. He's a terrific investor. And, I've done real well by him. And he told me that I said, well, how's the market doing? I talked to him a couple of years ago about this topic. And he says, well, the market's fine. Everybody's doing fine. The only way you can lose your house from your couch is sports gambling. Because you can sit there with your phone, gamble, keep giving money away and money away and money away. He says, as long as you stay away from that, you'll be fine. And it's true. So we recently had a scandal, and I this is so fascinating. Okay. So after 2018, states legalized gambling. Okay. Now it is a huge, huge business. Where are the corporate headquarters? They're overseas. They're not here. They're overseas. But you don't know that. You don't know about FanDuel. You know about others. Okay. So the FBI just made an arrest. I don't know exactly how long the investigation took. Some people are saying 2 years, which would have opened it during the Biden administration. Okay, that's fine. They mixed two things together. And it's really interesting to look what's happening now. Number one, they brought the mafia in. I hadn't heard of the mafia. Did you hear of the mafia recently? No one hears of them. Or the Cosa Nostra, which was some of the families. We didn't hear about that for decades. And then all of a sudden they jumped out, and they were the ones in charge of this sports gaming scandal. They did it. Now, I've seen a couple of programs and I've read a bit about how they're using technology, how there are machines in casinos that are supposed to mix up the cards so no dealer has his hands on them. And somehow that leads to being able to predict what cards are coming out. Okay. That's fine. That's limited casinos. The big money is not in the casinos. The big money is online. And there are 3 NBA players, 2 players and a coach, a head coach, Billups, right? Chauncey Billups and 2 players who we don't know all of the allegations yet. But what we have found out is there are things online in these sports betting apps called P-R-O-P bets. Now, typically, when people bet in historically, it was, okay, you want the Bears versus the Giants, okay? And the some genius in Vegas said, well, I think the Bears are going to win by 4 points. So there's a 4-point spread. So you bet, you take the Giants, you get an extra 4 points. Okay, that's it. And so it's a spread. That was as complicated as it was. And this went on for decades and decades and decades. Okay. And when it became legal, that was fine too. That's what happened. But they invented prop betting. What is prop betting? That's betting on the performance of one individual on the team. Okay? Bears versus Giants, the Bears team versus the Giants team. But within that, you can make individual bets based upon, okay, let's say he's a field goal kicker, and you're going to bet that he's going to kick 3 field goals in the game. All right? If you win, you win money. If you guess right, you win money. If you don't, you give up money. Okay? Let's say you're a basketball player, and the basketball team is there. You don't bet on the team, you bet on one individual. How many points is he going to score? Well, what we've been told, and we haven't told everything about it, but what we've been told is a couple of competitors that have been indicted and arrested were, one in particular was injured, and there was a prop bet. It's like he's going to make 20 points. And on the high end, it's 20. On the low end, it's 16. So you bet whether he's going to go 16 or 20 or above that or below that. They're different for different betting apps. But essentially, is he going to score 16 or more or 20 or more or less? Well, suddenly in the second half, but second quarter of a 4-quarter game, he takes himself out. And he claims he had an injury before, and he took himself out because he didn't want to re-injure himself. He didn't re-injure it. He didn't go to the doctor. He just took himself out of the game on the fear that he might re-injure himself. Okay. Now, sadly for him, he communicated with people before the game saying he was going to leave in the second quarter. And he wasn't going to come back. And these people have been interviewed by the FBI, given their statements, and they all made a substantial amount of money because they bet below the 16 points, and they all won because they had inside information. So this happened Wednesday, I believe, was the day the indictment came down. Yesterday, there were a lot of stories about it. Today, there were a lot of stories about it. This is, to me, a much bigger thing than just a few guys. It is, in my view, the question of how can people in this country bet on a sport, on the individual you don't know, you've never talked to the person, you have no idea what they're like, you have no idea what their financial needs are or not, you don't have any idea whether they're on the verge of bankruptcy or anything, and you're going to bet that he is going to be honest? To me, it's absolutely insane. Now, I've known gamblers, okay? The one thing they share in common, they think they're smarter than everyone else, okay? They read a few papers, some articles. They may even get a subscription to Sports Illustrated or some other magazine, or they may watch podcasts that talk about it, and they really believe they know more. Guys, casinos have been making money off people forever. They know more. However, we got people who want to put up money. This is going to lead right to the next story that we're going to talk about. And I'll let you draw the conclusions about these two different stories. One is about NBA millionaires who cheat and manage to get more money out of that. And the other story we'll get to after the break. So this is Jack Clegg Show. We'll come back in a few moments with the last 8th inning of our game.
New Orleans' premier Halloween destination, New Orleans Nightmare, is back for another chilling season. With 2 new themed attractions, this is the Halloween experience you won't want to miss. New Orleans Nightmare is open select nights, September 20th through November 8th. Tickets are available now at www.neworleansnightmare.com.
This is Kate Delaney from America Tonight. The show kicks on at midnight, and I'm loving the overwhelming support in New Orleans. What a group of fantastic listeners here on WGSO 990 AM. Join me every morning to catch up on what I call the buzz in your backyard and mine. You'll hear some of the most interesting people on the planet from the world of business, politics, sports, and, well, just intriguing people with a story to tell. If you're around, give us a call. Don't worry, I'll spit out the number plenty of times on the air. Let's agree to meet at midnight right here on WGSO 990 AM in New Orleans.
Hey folks, it's Jeff Cruier. I've been with WGSO for 17 years as host and now president and general manager. WGSO is a community-based radio station, a nonprofit, locally operated. We believe in cultivating local talent and emphasizing local programs. If you have an interest in hosting your own program, then we have some prime spots available for you. Take advantage of this great offer. Email me at jeff@wgso.com or call me at 504-669-6076. Come fulfill your radio dreams at WGSO.
Hi, this is Douglas Viviani. If everything old is new again, join us for America's entertainment pop culture talk show right here on WGSO every Sunday night at 6.
Join me, Mitch Gibbs, every Thursday at 4 p.m. live on WGSO Radio New Orleans, talking Saints football in our 16th season of In the Red Zone. We'll be live at Premier Nissan at 6636 Veterans Boulevard, where Metairie meets Kenner, for another exciting season of Saints football live on WGSO Radio.
Don't get stuck in boring talk radio. Give it a much-needed splash of laughs and a little Southern Louisiana flavor with Implicit Bias Radio. I'm Kevon Bordelon. Join the crew and I each Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. as we give our thoughts on what's going down around the country. We'll crack open a fresh bottle of whiskey each week as we talk about what's swirling around in our heads and in the glasses. The Implicit Bias Radio Show, every Saturday morning, 7 to 9 a.m. on WGSO 990 AM.
Hey, fellow patriots, I'm John. And I'm Mike. We're the Jambalaya Boys from the Holy and Patriotic Jambalaya Show. Join us Saturday afternoons from 1 to 2 p.m. on WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com.
I'm Richard Bienvenu. Join me every Monday at 5 p.m. Whether you're a local or just love New Orleans, this is your show. That's Completely New Orleans on WGSO.
All right, New Orleans, welcome back to the Jack Clegg Show. This is the 8th and final inning of our show today. We were talking about the sports gambling scandal, and I got some information I wanted to share with you before we talk about another topic. Okay, I was curious on what the rules were. It's not illegal as a matter of law for a Saints player to bet on the Saints in Louisiana. That's not illegal. That's not illegal. However, the NFL has rules. But let me read you the rules. Okay. The NFL, its gambling policy was written in 2018. It says, gambling, particularly on NFL games or other sports, presents potential risks to the integrity of our competition and can negatively impact team cohesion. Okay, I agree on that. But that same policy goes on to outline that, quote, all NFL personnel other than players, repeat that, all NFL personnel other than players are further prohibited from placing, soliciting, or facilitating bets on any other professional, college, international, World Cup, or Olympic sports competition, tournament, or event. So players can do it, but NFL personnel cannot. So a coach can't. The guy who fills the footballs with not enough air, he can't. But players can. Okay. NFL players and personnel are limited, however, to where they can bet. They're not allowed to engage in gambling in NFL facilities. Here's the few of the things they get at, which are good. They can't disclose any non-public NFL information. What's that? Injuries or other things that might happen to co-players. They can't enter a sports book during the NFL season. They can't maintain any social, business, or personal relationships with sports gamblers. Now that last one I have to laugh at, because as I walk down the street, I don't see those little lapel tags that say I'm a sports gambler. So that one's going to be kind of difficult. Okay. The NBA has its own rules. According to Major League Baseball's 2019 policy on sports betting, baseball personnel may place legal bets on sports other than baseball or softball in jurisdictions in which sports betting is legal, provided that the person placing the bet is eligible under applicable law to wager. So yeah, they can bet. And the whole issue, okay, since 2018 when the law changed and allowed states to regulate their own betting in the states, there have only been a few players, the Detroit Lions wide receiver Cephas, the Lions safety C.J. Moore, and the Washington Commanders defensive end Mr. Toney were sidelined for the entire 2023 season. So here's the point. Okay, because it's legal, these guys aren't going to jail. They're not going to jail. The worst that can happen is they can be suspended. Okay, fine. Now, this is something that I learned and I did not know. This one really got me. All right. You guys watch football, and gals, you watch football, okay? You see commercials for FanDuel. Why is FanDuel on the commercial for an NFL football game? Because they are a sponsor. They pay the NFL. They pay them lots of money to have banners, to have their players in their commercials doing all these different things. Okay. Now, one thing that surprised me, I'll get to this in a second, and I'll move on to another topic. Okay. In 2021, the NFL Players Association president, the president of the union, okay, the players union, J.C. Treader, defined the revenues players are entitled to under the 2020 collective bargaining agreement. So the players, in addition to their salaries, are entitled to money in the collective bargaining agreement in the NFL, saying they included all television deals, ticket sales, concessions, league sponsorships, local media deals, and yes, even gambling revenues are included as part of our share of the revenue. Under CBA terms, players receive a minimum of 48% of all league revenue. So it's the child of football right now. These sports gambling sites are into football. And so we're supposed to believe that the players individually are not going to benefit by it? Really? Really? I don't believe that at all. And I believe that this is just this current arrest of the 3 NBA players is probably less meaningful than we think, unless somebody's really going to take in Congress, going to take some action to prevent this from happening. Now, what do I think? What do I think is happening here? Well, last Friday, I talked about a woman in Michigan, who was a recipient of food stamps in Michigan under the Michigan plan called, it was a bridge card. That's what they call it, bridge between the poor and the wealthy. They get a bridge card. They get money on the card, depending on how poor they are. This woman used her bridge card to buy material for her baking business. And she made a fortune in her baking business. So she was taking food stamp revenue and making money from it, not feeding her kids from it. Now, I admire her pluck, but that's our taxpayer money. Okay. Is that alone? No, she's not alone. I was reminded today of a woman here in New Orleans, the owner of the Alma Cafe, which is in Mid-City. Okay. In May of 2025, she was arrested. She's the acclaimed chef and owner of the Alma Cafe, was arrested on felony charges of government benefits fraud. What's that? Accused of illegally receiving more than $55,000 in Medicaid and other public assistance for nearly 3 years. But what's interesting about it is during that same period of time, she deposited $3.1 million into her accounts through over 1,200 transactions linked to the 13 businesses she's associated with. Now, they didn't say whether she was simply an income protector, an income mover, or what her particular role was, but she certainly was getting government benefits, using those to make more money. Education point 1. That's not what you're supposed to do. You get money only when you prove that you are needy. And here we have 2 examples of people who just said they were needy, and they weren't. In fact, both of them used the money they got in their businesses, not to support their families. So to me, we have some work to do. Now, how does this affect gambling? We got a lot of people who are gambling on their telephones. And I think somebody needs to decide whether or not people who get financial support from the government should be allowed to gamble using the telephone, using the services that they get from the government. We need to decide that. We need to discuss it. I don't think it's just 2 or 3 people. I think there's more. Anyway, thanks for listening to the show. We'll be back next Friday. I believe we're going to have an interesting guest for you. If not, we're just going to talk for a while. All right. Have a good weekend. Jack Clegg signing off.
In baseball, these are the moments that bring us to our feet.
But the most important moment happens when we all stand together.
United for a great cause. So join Major League Baseball and stand up to cancer